Deep breaths, Broncos country. Deep breaths. Welcome to the Denver Bronco Roundup. Man, it's not what we wanted. Not what we expected. Not what Vegas thought. Not what Vegas expected. This is, maybe I'll have to fall back on my original prediction. Kenny of the Great K&K Sports Show came in here and asked us how we had to rate this game, how important it was to be a win. I originally said a 3. My cohorts that unfortunately cannot be with me right now, so I'm riding solo, guys. Riding solo out here on the Denver Bronco Roundup. And just getting some reactions to this game because, like I said, now it becomes a 3. Now, everything that I said, us having to overcome the obstacle of losing to the Raiders right out the get, it all falls on the Broncos. It all falls on this coaching staff. And quite honestly, we need to make sure that we can take that step, get past this, put it behind us, and move on. But before we move on, let's talk about this game. This game was looking good at halftime. Up in the game, winning, looking dominant, looking like we could dictate in this game. And boy, it changed. It changed at halftime, guys, and it changed in a way that I didn't think I'd see, especially from a Sean Payton-led Denver Bronco team. From my tally, we saw about 0 yards from Javonte Williams. I take that back, maybe about 8-10 yards from Javonte Williams in the second half. Got to see Russell Wilson put up 50 yards, so man, just rough, man. Just rough. Clayton coming in here. Fantastic supporter of the show. Appreciate you, Clayton, because he's saying, hey, man. Hey, how's it going, Clayton? And he's also coming in here and saying, smash the like button and share, guys. Appreciate it so much, Clayton. We're in here just doing a little post-game wrap-up of this Denver Bronco loss. Not what we wanted, not what we expected. Hoping for something better. But here we are. And yeah, I just talked about, here's Clayton coming in here and says, I hate the loss, but I love what I saw from Russ. Yeah, there were some good things to see from Russ, especially in that first half. Got him say hello to Adam and Kayla. They're coming in and saying, yo, family. Season's young. Season is young. Like I said, that's why we might have to put this up as a 3. Maybe not a 10 as far as what we needed to put as far as expectations on this game. Because what if this does happen? And we've ruled this a 9 or a 10. Kenny coming in here of the Great K&K Sports Show. It's a tough one to swallow. Sorry, Denver fans. Denver was average to below average when it matters. Russ looked good, so that is positive. Yes, it is positive. Clayton also just coming in here and saying he's only going to get better. Let's go. Talking about Mr. Russell Wilson. Mr. Russell Wilson, especially in the first half, guys. If you guys didn't catch our halftime show, man, we were super pumped about what we saw. We saw an offensive line that seemed like it was doing good and giving, Javonte about 5 yards per carry, over 4.5 yards. I think it was 4.7 yards in the first half. Was running very, very well. We expected him to continue that workload, which we did see a little bit go to him. But boy, this second half of offense just struggled to get anything going. We saw Russell Wilson in that first half dictating, going down the field, completing passes as the national broadcast said, to how many different receivers? I think it was up to 8 and very, very early. And that all seemed to dissipate in that second half. I believe in Sean Payton. And I still do. But boy, I thought this is a place that Sean Payton absolutely excelled, was in those second half adjustments, being on top of in-game adjustments, not just second half adjustments, but in-game adjustments and getting the best. And boy, we struggled. We saw a lot of quick passes out to the boundary from Russ, out to his receivers, to his running backs. And boy, it just wasn't getting any traction. And boy, It just demolished our second half, guys. We had this in the game. Now, my cohorts who aren't here want me to bring up Mr. Will Lutz. Will Lutz left 4 points on the field today. Missed extra point, which I cannot excuse, and a missed 55-yard field goal. I don't know if I'm willing to lay it at the feet of Will Lutz. I'll let you guys also chime in. You guys can be the judge. Guys can be the judge, Jody, tonight, since Judge isn't with us. So, for me, yes, it's disappointing. But if you're relying on your kicker to make a 55-yard field goal, just like we were last year, in order to try to win games, you're going to be disappointed. Yes, he should have made the extra point. That being said, the 3 points, well, the 1 point would have made the difference. Honestly, the 1 point makes the difference. So you do have to lay it on him in that. At least we could have went to overtime. But boy, trying to ask for a 55-yard field goal is just too much for me. Kenny's coming in here and saying, in your opinion, how much did Dulcich getting hurt affect the offense in the second half? This is a great question. We didn't see Dulcich get hugely involved in the offense, but we also know that targets don't always get involved. Targets are sometimes just a threat in and of their own. Now, I didn't see a whole lot from Greg Dulcich in the training camp that I saw. Yeah, most of you probably watched the offseason and the preseason. He was good, not great. Troutman was already ahead of him on the depth chart. So, yeah, he wasn't having a fantastic start to this season, but we knew that he was going to be a receiving threat. I think, Kenny, to answer your question, you take that, you pair it with Mr. Jerry Jeudy also being out, maybe you have something there. Though I got to say, wasn't always a huge fan of Mr. Brandon Johnson. Man, started off the beginning of this game looking like a man on fire. Was by far one of the best receivers we had out there. So, got to tamper my my negative thoughts around Brandon Johnson. Certainly stepped up to the plate today. Put on a great performance again when we talk about that first half. So, and this is a great comment, and it's a thought that ran across my mind as well. A lot of players have been brought over from the New Orleans Saints, and in that was, of course, Will Lutz. Kenny of the K&K Sports Show saying Lutz, great indoor kicker for years, looks below average in the thin air. Yeah, I was hoping that the thin air would extend his leg. I think he had a stronger leg early and was thinking, hey, getting to mile high would certainly help extend that leg given the range. He had the range on 55 yards. It was where it was going. And as they were saying, even though it was the south end, you're playing in open indoor stadium where you're used to that indoor, perfectly climate controlled, not a breeze. It's a completely different story. So he's getting used to it. It was devastating for him to miss that 55-yard field goal. And guys, if you're going to lay it on the feet of anybody, I would just, hey, we're 3 phases of the game, and you got to keep in mind that it was special teams that let us down in general. Now, it wasn't special teams coming out and saying we should try an onside kick to start the game, but it was something that certainly did happen, and it was a special team quote-unquote failure, I guess, in that regard. And you start pairing that with a missed extra point, a missed field goal. Yeah, it wasn't the best day for special teams when obviously there was a lot of touchbacks regardless. Riley Dixon had a pretty good day, though he did have that one little bit of a shank at the very last punt of the game that we had. Kind of went out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Could have been a little bit deeper, but not game-changing, right? So, but third phase of the game was definitely an impact in this game and something we need to, obviously straighten up. Injuries, we already hit on it. Dulcich, hamstring from what it sounds like, according to the broadcast. Want him back. Need him back, as Kenny alluded to. We obviously want, I'll back up. Caden Stearns goes out. Caden Stearns, who's been oft injured now injured once again, as the national broadcast alluded to. Really, we're depending on him to be kind of that force in the secondary, that guy that could come down, play inside the box a little bit. It's gonna push everybody into position. We saw obviously Jackson take a lot of that role. We want J.L. Skinner to come back and be productive as well. And then Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy, as I alluded to, is one guy that was almost a game-time decision. Sound like he was close, but not really. So coming back, we'll need to have him. More than anything, we'll have to have that strong mindset. We'll have to have the Denver Broncos put this in the past. We'll have to move on with this 7th consecutive loss. Games are updating as we speak. I was trying to keep on top, but final was the Chargers did lose today, so the Raiders sit atop at 1-0 with the Chiefs losing as well. We get the Washington Commanders next, guys. Washington Commanders did pull off a win today, so they're 1-0. Maybe riding a little bit of momentum, but though not too much when you're going up against a team that's expected to be one of the worst in the league in the Arizona Cardinals. You did chalk up that win today on a 2016 win. It'll be back to the drawing board a little bit, guys. And, boy, not the way we all wanted to start the season, but we'll keep our heads up. Like I said, this is what it was all about, getting a guy like Sean Payton. I think he's the guy that needs to take us to the next level in a lot of ways. And one of those levels is taking a loss like this, a heartbreaking loss like this, a rival loss like this, one that we all wanted to start off the season, get that 1-0 in the column. Unfortunately, it ends up being an 0-1. You need to be able to take that, turn that, and make a productive season. You've already lost to an AFC West opponent. Can't get too many more of those. So it's on to the Washington Commanders next, guys. I appreciate everyone that jumped in here. Kenny that jumped in here. Clayton that jumped in here. Saw a lot of viewers jump in and out. Appreciate you guys very, very much. The Denver Bronco Roundup, of course, brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Sports Network and sponsored by Whistings and Blends. Check out the Rocky Mountain Sports Network for all of your Colorado sports. You can check them out on Facebook. You can check them out on, well, just the internet, their website, RockyMountainSN.com. You can check out them out on YouTube, obviously, as well. Got a lot of great things coming, articles flying in there all the time, guys. Appreciate your support there. And, of course, Willow Seasonings and Blend. Don't forget DBR 2023 in the checkout code. That's DBR 2023 in the checkout code. It's just not for my benefit. It's for yours. 15% off your final checkout total. And, hey, that's, award-winning sauces. Blue Ribbon, Kansas City, cook-offs, sauce-offs, rub-offs, whatever they happen to be. All your spices, all your sauces, all your blends. He's walking away with blue ribbons. It's fantastic stuff. Check out willowseasonings.com, guys. We're going to get out of here. Again, keep your feet in the stirrups. Keep your guns in your holster. And keep your Broncos in your heart. Till next time, guys, Denver Bronco Roundup. Every Tuesday, 7 o'clock. I'll see you then. Thanks, guys.